Hello everybody and welcome to The Moons. Along with my lovely husband here and our 4 gorgeous boys, we live in a rural farmhouse called Germano. And what makes our farmhouse so extra special is the residents who live here.
And they are retired competition horses of all degrees, but what we do is we give them the dignified end that they deserve. And today, if you don't know what we're about, hopefully you're going to be a bit more enlightened, because we're going to show you our lovely house and the stables, and you're going to get to meet a couple of the legends. So join us on our journey.
So some of you may recognise this lovely old girl standing behind us, and this is Germano. This is the family home where the Magical Moon family live.
And we are very, very fortunate for her still to be in 21 hectares of unsport countryside. We have our own water source, the well that we're sitting on. We also have a lovely little stream and a beautiful river in the forest. And she was once part of a much larger estate.
So what we found out recently that in 1819 was the first time the house actually became a dwelling. We believe she was standing a lot longer because we found maps from the 1700s. But in 1890 she became a dwelling, and she housed 4 working families from the local estate.
So she is no stranger to the pitter-patter of tiny feet and all the animals and all the goings on, which is now still part of our Magical Moon life.
It is indeed. And inside she has got the most incredible bread oven you have ever seen. It's absolutely huge. So we believe she would not only fed the families here, she'd have fed the estate house and all of the staff, and she'd have also fed the surrounding houses.
Yeah, and she's also been fairly self-sufficient throughout her history. She has a piggery on one end, which is now our kitchen. And as Jenny said, with that beautiful old bread oven that we're going to reinstate, there's a smokery there. And then the old kitchen, which sits on the front of the house, has a massive, beautiful open fireplace, which then leads into what was once, well, we call it the barn lounge, but it was once where the cows were housed underneath, and the hay and the straw and any supplies were on top, and then there was a big open barn at the back. So yes, a beautiful family home now, but in the history of her, she's been repurposed throughout the decades.
Fantastic place. And recently we've been metal detecting. We found lots of little cow shoes, which was really interesting. So she's showing up all of her treasures.
Yeah, there's lots of history here, and we're going to share that with you. We've touched on it a little bit in previous videos, but for anyone that's new, there's lots of history here, which as a family we're discovering day by day, but we're going to share with you as we go. So hope you enjoy the journey. We're going to take you now and introduce you to some very special horses. May I proudly introduce the legend that is Epan de Fouquet. He is the reason we started Legacy of Legends, and it was through a chance encounter that our paths crossed. He was originally bred in France. He is a Selle Francais horse, and he made his name by conquering that big red wall in the discipline called the Poitou. He was ridden by many famous riders. One of those riders is the Olympian Ben Mayer, who is in Paris as we speak, representing Great Britain. So it just goes to show how these horses can forge people's expectation of what is achievable in the industry. It was completely by chance that our paths crossed, and I'm so glad they did, because it highlighted a massive area in the sport that needed addressing. In the world of equestrianism, what happens to these superstars when the limelight is over? So in the discipline puissance in the show jumping world, it translates to power, and Epan is using his power now to transform the future of the equine world alongside us and Legacy of Legends. He made his name by conquering the wall many times, and it was his ultimate athleticism and power, his technique, that made him so successful at what he did. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Epan for kick-starting the change that he initiated, because without him, that question would never have been raised. What happens to these guys after the limelight? And it just goes to show that these horses have got so much to give, and he's making a difference for all the other equine athletes in the world. He is their beacon, he is the flagship, he's the one that's driving the change along with you guys, and it's just such a privilege to be in the presence of horses that we have here, and especially with Epan at the ripe old age of 32, just showing us how it should be done. So I'm here with Totty, who is Rupert's little pony, the love of his life, and she's taught him so much. And just coming into screen now is her daughter, and we're very privileged to have them both, because from a very young age it teaches lessons in life which no other being can do, and that is just lovely to see the interaction that the kids have with them, and especially Rupert, just to understand at an early age what kindness and reward you get from these beautiful creatures. So looking to the future and pushing the charity forward, we've explored lots of different avenues, and one of those avenues is with TV. And we've had a production company here for the last couple of years following our journey. And in the highs and lows of the journey, we've lost two legends, and that's part of what we deal here with on a daily basis. It's always imminent, but we do it with dignity and respect, and that's one of our main objectives, is that every horse should have that end and not be on their own or with someone that they don't know. So it was very heartwarming to be able to share that moment, which is a very private moment, but to see the reaction and see the understanding that it matters so much that they're not on their own. But we have lots of other different avenues, and we hope, with the support of you guys and all the other social media platforms, the liking, the sharing, telling your friends, just having those conversations, that eventually it trickle feeds out and into the world. And we know that the magic is spreading, and we have many followers from around the world, which we're very humbled and grateful for. Let's go and meet another legend. So this is Max. He's a very cheeky chappy. We call him the Yard Houdini. He keeps everyone here on their toes. He was retired to us along with another beautiful horse called Udea. And at the time, the owner's circumstances changed, and he rang us and asked if we knew of a home for 2 horses. And at the time, we had the availability, so we took them as a pair, which was fantastic, and it was brilliant to be able or be in a position to do that. We look to rehome the horses if at all possible, and we're creating a database which is every day it's growing more and more of people who are potential homes for these great legends. And that's part of what we do here, is trying to expand that network and that database, so it gives these horses an option if there isn't a safe house as we are here at Legacy of Legends to go to. But it's been a real whirlwind with Max, because we didn't realise he was a bit under the weather when he arrived, and we weren't quite sure. So along with the veterinary help and a bit of fault finding, we realised that he had a condition called Cushing's, which affects him in lots of different ways. And one of those things is he gets a bit of a curly coat, and some of you guys might have seen me clipping him, and there's other bits of management we need to do to keep him as comfortable as possible, but that's all part of what we do here. And Udeo has been successfully rehomed to a friend of ours, someone that's become our friend over the last few years since having Udea, who lives up in the Mayenne department. She's not far from here in a beautiful chateau. So Udea was one of those horses who needed an active retirement. She wanted to be ridden, or was able to be ridden, and it's lovely to give the horses what they need, and they are so individual. It's probably our toughest challenge here at the Legends, is to really find out what makes them tick and try and keep them feeling like they did when they were once superstars, and that's a big part of what we do. It's that time of year, it's very, very hot in the day. It's just starting to cool down now. So Max, along with Epan, they free range all around the house, which is fantastic because it really feeds his mischievous side. And him and Epan are like 2 peas in a pod. So we're going to get them all ready. And then as the sun goes down, they're going to go out. So they get those lovely cool evenings and night times. And then as the weather changes, we switch it around. So it's role reversal. So I will get on, do these horses, and we'll see you very soon. So it's the end of another day here at the Magical Moon household with the Legends, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. They're out in the field and they're going to spend the night out, so they're nice and comfortable. And if you didn't know what we did before, I hope you know a little bit more about us. And I hope in the future you share those moments that are coming, because we've got so much to tell you about and so much to share. And for those of you who do follow us and the magic that's spreading around the world, that little bit of kindness and love goes such a long way. And it's not just about horsey people, it's about family people, it's about values, it's about the good in the world, and that's what we want to drive forward. And with you guys, we are getting there. So thank you very much, and we'll see you very soon.